My name is Dr. Horatio Funderby, but I am not the kind of doctor who sees sick people. I am called a doctor because I have spent many, many years studying. I studied history, and I now have an important job at the British Museum in London. Every Sunday afternoon, I walk along a path in Chelsea, on the bank of the River Thames. A lot of painters live in Chelsea. People often think that I am a painter. I look like one, and I dress like one. I have a white beard, I carry a black wooden stick, and I wear a large old hat. The hat is more than 40 years old, and I always wear it for my walks. I enjoy my walks very much. There is a lot to see and hear. Boats pass on the river. Birds cry noisily above it. Along this bank of the river, there are some old houseboats. People buy these houseboats because they like living on the water. They enjoy watching the passing boats and listening to the sounds of a busy river. They paint the boats in bright colours. One Sunday afternoon, I was standing by the houseboats, looking across the river. In the deepest water, in the middle of the Thames, I could see a beautiful white sailing ship. It was called the Poseidon. The back of the ship was a little unusual. I knew that the owner of the ship was Lord Struve. He was a great scientist who studied ocean life. Near the Poseidon were a large ship from South America and a dirty Spanish boat. Then I noticed one of the houseboats near the bank. It was called the Nerine, and it was very colourful. The boat was grey, but parts of it were painted in bright colours. The door was blue, and the large wooden cover in the floor of the front deck was bright red. There were some steps going from the boat to the bank of the river. These were painted blue, like the door. I saw a young girl trying to push back the cover. She wanted to get out, and she was halfway out of the hole, but she had a problem. She saw me. She didn't shout at me, but her mouth formed the words, "I can't open it." I hurried towards the Nerine. It was sitting on the bottom of the river, and I had to walk down the blue wooden steps over the water of the Thames. I went carefully along the deck of the boat until I reached the girl. "The new red paint has dried, and I can't open the cover," she said. "Wait a minute," I said. I used my stick to open it. A few minutes later, the girl climbed out onto the deck. She was about 20 years old. She was wearing old blue paint-covered trousers and a grey shirt. I thought that she looked quite beautiful. She looked at me with big green eyes. They were the loveliest part of her face. "Thank you," she said. "That's all right," I replied. I was glad to help. "You're a dear man," she said. "Do you know who you're like? You're like one of those older men who work in museums." "Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't very polite." She smiled gently. "But I am an old man," I said. "Please don't worry. In fact, I do work at the British Museum. I'm Dr. Horatio Funderby.
Oh, she said, the British Museum. She was silent for a second, and then she asked, Would you like to see my octopus?
Yes, I would, I said, smiling. She took me down through the blue door into a green room.